Okay, picture this. You're at the checkout, about to buy something online, and you've seen it a million times, right? Your eyes kind of glaze over the credit card fields, and then there it is. That shiny little button promising you can have it all right now without that immediate hit to your wallet.
And the promise is so simple, so powerful. Paying for zero interest, no fees, get your stuff today, spread the cost out, and if you pay on time, it costs you nothing extra. And you know what? For the most part, that's actually true. Companies like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm, they're not really lying to you.
But, and this is the big but, that's where you gotta pause and think. This industry processed over $400 billion last year. So if they aren't charging you anything, who exactly is paying for this massive global operation? Where's all that money coming from? All right, let's get into it.
To figure this out, we have to start with how it all works. And believe me, this isn't your parents' old layaway plan from back in the day. No, this is way faster, way slicker, and honestly, a lot more psychologically powerful.
So here's the basic model. Let's say you want those cool $200 sneakers. You click the Buy Now, Pay Later option. Instantly, the BNPL company pays the store the full $200. So the store is happy. They ship you your sneakers right away. Now you owe the BNPL company, not the store, and you just pay them back in 4 easy $50 chunks. As long as you're on time, you've paid exactly the price on the tag. It's clean, it's simple, and it's incredibly tempting.
Now here's where it gets really interesting. This little setup does something to our brains. See, the pain of paying is pushed off into the future, but the joy of getting the product is immediate. And the data shows that when we use Buy Now, Pay Later, we end up spending, on average, a whopping 45% more than we would have if we were just using cash. Retailers know this. And that right there, that's our first big clue about where the money is really coming from.
So let's pull back the curtain and actually follow the money, shall we? Because this isn't some kind of magic trick. It's just a really clever business model with a few different ways to make a profit, some of them not so obvious.
And boom, here is the main engine of the whole thing. The vast majority of the money, like 2/3 of it, comes from fees they charge the store. Remember how you spend 45% more? Well, the store is so thrilled to get that bigger sale that they're happy to pay the BNPL company a fee, usually somewhere between 2 and 8% of what you bought. So on those $200 sneakers, the store might give Klarna, say, up to $16. The store gets a bigger sale, Klarna gets its cut, and in this equation, you're kind of the bait.
But what about that other 30%? This is where that whole zero interest promise starts to get, well, a little complicated. While that main paying-for product is usually interest-free, these companies also offer longer-term loans for bigger things. And those loans, they can carry interest rates up to 30% APR. That's often way higher than a normal credit card. You add in late fees if you miss a payment, and all of a sudden that free service can get very expensive.
But honestly, the fees and the interest, that's only part of the story. There's this other incredibly valuable thing being created every single time you click that button. And that thing is your data. Just think about this for a second. Your bank, your traditional bank, knows some basic stuff about you, right? Your salary, your rent. It's kind of slow, predictable information. But a Buy Now, Pay Later company, oh, they know the intimate details of your shopping life. They don't just know you bought running shoes, they know you bought them at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, probably after scrolling through Instagram for an hour. They know you looked at the blue pair, hovered over them, but then bought the black ones instead. This is what they call transactional intelligence, and it paints this incredibly detailed, almost invasive picture of who you are and what you want.
So what do they do with all this juicy data? Well, mainly 3 things. First, they use it to build their own secret credit score about you, one that's often better at predicting your next purchase than the old-school models. Second, they use it to blast you with hyper-targeted ads and offers inside their own shopping apps, constantly nudging you towards that next purchase. And third, it creates what's called data inertia. Basically, once a platform has all your shopping history, it's a huge pain to switch to a competitor. You're kind of locked in. And all of this brings us to what is easily the biggest risk for us, the shoppers. This whole system of easy, bite-sized credit can get out of control really fast, turning all that convenience into some serious financial chaos. And the problem really starts right here. It's actually pretty rare for someone to use just one of these services. The average user has accounts on 3 different platforms all at the same time. You might use Klarna for your clothes, Afterpay for some tech, and Affirm for a new couch.
And this is exactly how the debt spiral can start. You've got 3 different apps, each with its own pay-in-4 plan. That means you could be trying to juggle 12 different payments at once, all with different due dates, all in different apps. I mean, can you imagine trying to keep track of that? There's no one place to see how much you actually owe in total. It becomes so easy to miss just one payment, which triggers a late fee, and that makes the next payment even harder to make.
And here's the part that is just so crucial to understand, because it feels deeply unfair. Making all your payments on time, that usually does not get reported to the major credit bureaus, so it doesn't help you build a good credit history. But if you miss payments and that debt gets sent to collections, you bet that can be reported, and it can seriously damage your official credit score. I mean, just think about that for a second. It's a system that has all of the potential downside of traditional credit, but none of the upside.
So, all right, how do you actually navigate all this? How do you use the convenience part without falling into the trap? Let's go over a few really clear red flags you should always be looking for.
Okay, here are 4 really big warning signs. Number 1, if you're already juggling a few of these plans, just don't add another one. You're just asking for trouble. 2, if you catch yourself using this for small, everyday things like your groceries or a cup of coffee, that is a huge sign that you might be borrowing from your future self to pay for today. 3, if you're looking at one of those longer-term loans, always check the APR against a credit card. If it's higher, it's a bad deal, period. And 4, if a company makes it hard to find or understand their late fees, run. That is a massive red flag. And here's one more tip. This one's about your data. Before you sign up, just take 60 seconds and scan their privacy policy. You might be completely shocked at what you're agreeing to give away.
So in the end, it really all boils down to this one simple question. Look, buy now, pay later isn't evil. It's a tool, and it can be a really powerful and convenient one. But it's a tool whose entire business model is built on putting off consequences. It's selling you convenience today, but the real price, which you pay in hidden fees, potential debt, high interest rates, and your own incredibly valuable personal data, that's a price you could be paying for a very, very long time. And that choice, as always, is yours.